feed to make sure it starts. Because Google. Oh, and we're live.
How's Google?
Hi.
Hey, we're live.
Live
Game
and
Sammich,
live.
episode,
Check.
what
1,
the
2,
hell,
check.
35?
Episode, hold on, episode Kevin's not here because he's got an ouchie boo-boo.
He's got a boo-boo.
Does-
Kevin won't be with us tonight because he stubbed his toe or something. So
Kevin
Or
won't be
just
with us today because he's
we're
not
just
a
gonna
man.
we're just gonna make fun of him all
Yikes.
night. That's
Shots
okay.
fired. As usual.
As usual.
Nothing has changed, actually.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's been a while, guys.
It has.
What-
It's been
what's
too
up?
long. I'm a little
Has there
upset,
been
and
any games in
It's
your
only
life?
been 2 months, right?
our
Yes,
notes are ridiculous. You can tell we haven't done anything in 2 months.
they are so many notes.
So many
Who-
notes.
Who wants to
There's
talk about
notes,
console
yeah.
stuff? Because I know I don't.
Well, I guess I wrote that down so I can open it.
You can start. You can start with that.
So, we don't have a lot of Gamescom stuff, but what we do have is just the highlights because, everything else, what's the point? One of the big things that happened at Gamescom was Crystal Dynamics or Microsoft people went on stage and they're like, Tomb Raider 2, Xbox One exclusive, yeah, holiday 2015. And then there was like a PR release, and then there was a release from Crystal Dynamics, who develops the game. And then everybody's like, well, that sucks. That's a fucking exclusive and a half. It's not going to touch anything else. They were making it seem like it's not even going to get on PC. As always, Microsoft would answer 0 questions. Crystal Dynamics was also kind of shady about it. I think the day after that, Phil Spencer, who's the head of the Xbox division now, comes out and says, oh, it's a timed exclusive. Why can't they just fucking say that, like, right off the bat?
Because that would be too easy.
Their PR people just gotta get fired.
Maybe
But
you should
anyway,
be their PR
They
person.
get paid,
No,
I'm
I
sure,
should
to
not.
not say that for a while, just to try to sell extra copies on the one platform.
I mean, sure, if you're
it's
gonna get
ridiculous.
the 3 consoles sold that the crazy people are gonna run out like that day and actually buy because this game's gonna come out during the holidays. I don't know. It's not the first time, and it's kind of weird. I don't wish them.
Any luck?
No, I don't wish them death and dismemberment anymore as much as I used to before, like in the
Not
360
anymore.
days. Well, no, in the 360 days, obviously they were terrible, like the whole warranty business and all that. So the console's doing much better. I mean, they are trying to, lap around like they always do, dropping the price. There's a promo coming up in a couple of days that they're basically using to get around the idea that Sony has a marketing exclusive for Destiny. I mean, I don't know if we have that in the notes.
I know.
But basically what's happening is that they're going to sell Xboxes for a week, and with it you can get a game for free. And it's created for the sole purpose of trying to bundle Destiny with the consoles, because they're not allowed to do that, because Sony has the advertising rights. And it just so happened also that they made up a fake product yesterday or today called a Destiny Fragrance, because they cannot advertise the game legally. So they made up a product to sort of get around the issue.
Lovely.
Like parfum?
Yeah, like a perfume. And it's a joke. Like, I think one of the one-liners is like, well, did you smell what we were cooking or something like that? It's just, it's
Zing.
It's silly as hell.
Yikes.
I'd say
But-
so.
Marketing.
Yeah, it's just, PR in general needs to be better. They need to make things understood so that fans don't go crazy with, like, chickens with their heads cut off and be really confused about what the hell's going on. You don't gain customers that way. But, it's
Nope.
Microsoft. So.
Yup.
Yup.
So Silent Hill is going to be super, super scary again.
And it's gonna have Norman Reed. How did I put it? Reedus. Put a bunch of E's in it. But anyhow, this might be, if I can get my hands. Well, I don't own a console. at all. So it's going to be difficult for me to play that unless somebody gives me his PlayStation.
So don't tell my wife, but I'm currently watching like 18 auctions for a used PlayStation 3 because I want another one down here.
Oh, you want two? I can't have any, but you want two.
Shame.
The system is actually really good. I know that we're going off on a tangent here, but the system is actually a really good media player. Netflix, Hulu's, and all that jazz. Like the apps are really solid on it, and the media streaming is actually really good. So it acts as our streamer in the living room in front of the TV. So I want one down here so I can play video games.
Hmm. Okay.
Just don't tell her. It's not like this is going up on the internet and she can like refer
Yeah,
to
no,
it.
it's not like this is like a public show or anything, so
Yeah.
you're cool. It's fine. Like
Okay,
three people will see it. It's good.
I'm gonna text her right now and tell her that you're
Excellent.
buying another PlayStation.
God damn it. Did you? I don't
Okay.
know. Was there any news if it's going to be on 4 or 3? Because I don't.
No, they never even specified. I don't think.
Don't know.
That could be a problem, obviously, for you. Because you can
Well,
land a PlayStation 3 for
I can get a
relatively cheap.
3 easily. A 4 is not so much.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy a PlayStation 4 for Silent Hill.
Right. And I would probably yell at you if you did. So.
Well, luckily for you, I'm
Caleb
smarter
in the
than
chat
that.
is yelling "Wii U" or "Get the fuck out." Sure.
Oh God.
Oh, Chad, I
Uh,
don't think I joined that thing.
Yeah, you should probably get into chat.
Apologize. So yeah, the Jimmy Fallon had Pierce Brosnan on his show, and as a surprise, he pulls out a copy of GoldenEye 64, and they went head to head, and it was atrocious because
it was hilariously bad.
well, I mean, Jimmy Fallon, um, he's a decent, he's a decent gamer.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan, you would never think that he'd be good at video games, and that's exactly what you get. Pierce Brosnan being bad at video games. But it's
Yep.
pretty cool to be able to land Pierce Brosnan, who is, in my opinion, of the Bond. Sorry, Sean Connery fans. Sorry.
The Bond.
Um, I was always, I just
I like
always,
him.
I always thought that his look was the best. Maybe not the acting, maybe not the movies, but I thought that his look was perfect. Um, of course, Connery in the '60s, it was a little bit different than the
Right.
more modern ones, but yeah, so it was Bondception, as Aaron wrote it.
Yo, dog.
Yo, dog, we heard you like Bond.
So I'm gonna put some Bond in your Bond so you can Bond or
While you play,
something
while you play Bond.
Or
while you play
something.
while you play Bond.
You can Bond while you Bond.
No. So
None of that, sir.
a story. I linked this earlier today. It is a very long-winded Kotaku article that I came across about the X-Bone being released in Japan,
Speaking of
and,
Microsoft bashing,
and nobody cared.
nobody did.
So if you missed the article earlier, I linked it earlier. It's on my profile page, or you can just wait till I release the notes later tonight. But yeah, they posted a picture of nobody standing in line. Now, why they needed to write an entire page article over it
It's
is
real
beyond me.
journalism.
But
Real journalism.
but yeah, that's that. Nobody cared. X-Bone released in Japan, and nobody cared.
It's
The
it's
end.
really interesting though because they learned this with the 360. 360 came out, nobody in Japan bought it. They didn't care.
Yep.
So then they're pouring money into, again, great PR, Microsoft. Pouring money into marketing and PR to like.
Who's got an ambulance outside?
That was not me. That was some
Is that
Canadian.
you, Brad?
Some Canadian guy, I guess.
Yeah, I think
Some
it was
Canadian guy.
Canambulance. But no, so they pour all this money into, doing this launch, and it's like you guys could have like a low-key launch in the country that doesn't care about your console, still try to sell some boxes, but like no big fuss about it because they don't care. Like it's already bad enough to get Japan interested in consoles as it is. Everything is moving towards handheld or phone.
Yeah.
PlayStation is doing well because it's a Sony thing, house brand. they're used to it, etc. But even like Square Enix just recently came out and said that they don't know how Final Fantasy is going to be doing because everybody's moving towards handheld devices, and they're really afraid for the console games.
I don't know,
So
the Vita's still going pretty strong for a lot of people that prefer the handheld with,
because it's handheld, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
people get kind of crazy.
I've got at least one or two people in my feed that I see posting pictures of their
Oh,
Vita. They're playing Final Fantasy 14 like on a regular basis from their Vita. Like, it's just what they do. I think it's
it's
pretty cool, but
the system is fantastic for certain things. It just didn't
hmm
take off. Not a lot of games.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. Speaking of, no, I don't have a segue for this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. We're just gonna jump right into the Arc Age. I know you guys don't give a shit about it, but I do. Arc Age
So
releases on the
career.
16th. Open beta just started this weekend, yesterday to be specific, and it's scheduled to fully release on the 16th. I think early access is a couple of days before that. So if you purchased into the beta or any of that stuff, you'll have your early access coming up. They're going to do a wipe right before that for obvious reasons. But I accidentally got my kid addicted to it.
Oh, you didn't.
Accidentally on purpose?
Seriously, you didn't.
Yeah, she's super addicted to it. Like she even made a new friend. Like they partied yesterday and today.
This is where it
Yikes.
begins.
This is where it begins.
It's all downhill from here, really.
It is.
You
She's
know.
like, "Can I install this at Dad's?" And I'm like, "No,
Wow.
absolutely not."
It's over.
So I'm trying to keep an eye on her because it's her first real MMO outside of like
Yeah.
her Minecraft Pixelmon crap that she plays. But I don't know. I've got profanity filters on and half the chat turned off and the chat box minimized to nothing. I don't know if I'm being overprotective or not, but I don't know. I'm letting her play it because she really, 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 really likes it. So I have leverage to get her to do chores now. So it'll work. But yeah, that's coming out soon. If anybody
Next thing
cares.
I'm gonna get a text message or like a Hangouts that Rena's new favorite word is the British word for cigarette.
Dang.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to give it a try for another few hours. I should have access for the open beta now.
I
So
I tried. I tried the character creator and I was like, too Korean. Peace out.
You didn't do it right then. My character doesn't look Korean at all.
Oh, they all look Korean.
Now you sound like Jeff.
All they all look alike. Listen, you know what's not Korean? Robin Williams.
Oh, nice segue.
accurate. Although he could do a good Korean accent.
Yes. He can
Arrest,
do
God rest
every
his
good
soul.
accent. That guy was amazing.
Yeah, kind of a shame, but Blizzard did a solid. Well, I
Yep.
guess suppose how you look at it.
The fans,
Uh,
maybe?
and they're gonna make him a genie, and wow,
Yeah, I've been
it's
seeing
happening.
screenshots of people that are in the
The
expansion
beta, yeah,
alpha,
or the
and
alpha, right? Yeah,
they
he's
put out
already in there,
screenshots of him. It's
and
pretty cool.
it's it's awesome that they landed a whole bunch of quotes and actually put them in there as a script.
Yeah, as much as I don't give a shit about Blizzard anymore, I think they did like you said, they did a nice solid and threw him
Well,
into
pop
the
culture
game.
references were always really good in that game.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
It's always been very sort of break the fourth wall now and
yeah,
then with weird references to things.
so we'll give him that. But
We'll
you
give
know,
them that.
yeah. So Ubisoft has been trying to take PC gaming more seriously lately, or so they say. And well, of
Sorry.
course, the way that I wrote this in the notes is a lot funnier. But so they say this right after, like a couple weeks after releasing information that the two biggest ports for them this year, Assassin's Creed Unity and Far Cry 4, are going to be done by the studio that does all their terrible PC ports, Ubisoft Kiev. I'm sorry, Ukrainians, but you don't make PC games so good. No,
You're not
Not
doing it
so good.
right.
it's a shame because if they're gonna take it more seriously, they really need to get a better studio on that, um, or at least I don't know, get that studio to do more better. I don't know. I don't have a solution
More
here.
better.
Make the games more better. Yes.
And speaking of really weird news and studio related, so Activision is bringing Sierra back.
That is very bizarre news that I'm not sure what I should think about.
Yeah, this
Because
happened a
games
couple
used
of
to be
weeks ago.
awesome. But
Yeah,
then they were really,
exactly.
really shit, and then Sierra
And
disappeared.
then,
So is that going to be good or bad or what? I don't know.
well, the news that I don't know if you have seen this, but when this first hit, it was a really quick animation of a guy walking up a snow hill, and then he walks up, and then there's a camera pans out, and there's a huge mountain in the background, and then they do that the Sierra logo,
Sure.
and like, oh my God, Heroes Quest, Police Quest, and all this stuff. But I mean, there's already a
How's
few
that go?
games. No, we're not doing that again.
So
There's already a few.
we need Police Quest 9 or whatever it would be up to. That's what we
Even
need.
7. But yeah, King's Quest I think is already in the pipeline somewhere, and then a couple of other things. So it's kind of interesting. I mean, obviously, I don't know if there's. I have not read into it too much, but I don't know if there's like a lot of the Sierra people that used to be there that are being resurrected with the studio,
Right.
or if it's just a name that they're kind of cashing in on. But we'll see.
It's got some good potential IP behind it and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it could be interesting if
Yeah.
they do it well. It's hard to say.
I mean, anything that puts PC more in the front, right? It's interesting to see evolve, I guess you can say. More PC.
More PC. Yeah. So Sims 4 is pretty interesting stuff. I guess just came out a couple days ago, and people have been flooding the EA forums with complaints that their game is slowly getting more and more pixelated over time.
Well, that's what you meant when you asked me that
And
earlier. I hadn't read that article yet.
It's just until the whole screen, except for the UI, is just the weird pixelation, like when there's nudity or whatever. And just the forums are getting flooded. Technical support is like being harassed like crazy, and it's because it's an anti-piracy measure. Like, just silly people.
So it's the anti-piracy measure that's backfiring, like it's hitting people that have legit copies, or
no. Well,
Okay,
I mean,
I
probably some, but I mean,
okay, that's what I wanted.
the pirates are flooding the forums, assuming that it's an issue with the game because it just came out, and there's a bunch of weird bugs with the game. And it's an anti-piracy thing, and I don't know how long it'll last because that stuff always breaks.
Right.
But at least for now, if you get a really pixelated situation in your Sims 4 game, maybe think about whether or not you paid for it before.
Think about whether or not you paid for it.
You probably didn't.
Did I pay for this or not?
Yeah.
And it's not the first time. I think it's just
Hmm.
it's one of the first interesting times. They've had things break before. Serious Sam, the recent one, the most recent one, they had a thing where if you pirated the game, after a few minutes, a mob would appear out of nowhere. It was like a mob sort of that looked like Scorpion King from the Scorpion King movie, or from the Mummy 2 or whatever. Kind of scorpion
yeah.
with a human.
The Rock.
Human torso. It would move at like 300% speed, and you cannot kill it. So this thing would just pop up in your game. You can shoot at it as much as you want. It would always catch up to you and always try to kill you. And of course, it would most of the time succeed. And then you would just reload, and it'd be the same thing. Like, and this thing was indestructible, and that was their piracy measure.
Right.
Well, at least that's entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I am typically against like DRM and anti-piracy stuff, at least that's like creative. You know,
Yeah.
You're basically toying with people that are trying to pirate your game instead of.
And it's hilarious because, like you said, they flood the forums. They're like, "What the hell's wrong with my game? I get to this place and it's doing this stuff, and then the next thing you know, it's like, oh, because you pirated it."
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty.
At least they're having fun with it, I guess. Like, I mean, it's going to be broken eventually anyway. It's not going to matter.
Oh, it's already done. Like this whole
I'm
pixelation for Sims, it's already done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just silly. But at least they're having fun with it. So there's that.
Yep.
Well, I mean, I guess it's if they can't prevent the like connects to the internet and shit, right? You can play it without Origin or without.
I think there is a single
I mean, I
player.
just assumed that if you didn't connect it to the internet that it wouldn't work. That if it didn't verify the game, that it wouldn't work. But
Well, yeah, but you have to remember that
I'm sure there's ways around
those
that.
Yeah, you
those
can always get
kids
around
those
it.
kids are crafty.
I mean, they said the same thing
Same
about
thing.
SimCity, that it was literally built in, and within, what, a day or two, someone had
Yeah.
figured out a workaround. That's all.
Yeah.
There's always a way.
No, it's they just say that to cover their butt, but it's just everything can be reverse engineered. It's just a matter of how long is it going to take.
Right.
So if you can make it, you can break it.
Yep.
That's
Did you
pretty
just
good.
make that up?
Pretty good.
You just made that up, didn't you?
Good job. Good job. Proud of you.
Oh.
So this isn't like super new. I guess this was like a couple weeks ago. But since it's been so long since
We
we've
haven't done this in 3 years.
yeah. But yeah, Steam, I guess, in the code for one of the new versions of Steam, there's references to movies and TV shows and like media archives and things like that. Like they're
Steam gonna be in iTunes.
possibly planning to, yeah, basically turn into like a place where you could buy seasons of shows and stuff like that. And as weird of an idea as that is, I think Steam probably has a lot better shot at it than iTunes does at sort of mass adoption, because Steam is so huge and is actually good at making things easy to do, as opposed to iTunes, where I don't even know how to do half the shit.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know if I've ever purchased like a show or anything on iTunes.
I have in the past, back when Scrubs was still airing. I was purchasing episodes from
you're getting
iTunes.
episodes from them? Okay.
But it's you literally like can just buy one episode at a time. But Google Play does that now, and it's not really anything new. I mean, it might be more convenient if I already have the Steam UI up on my desktop.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
It's always
not-
running anyway.
there's not really too much of an epiphany happening right there.
Have a little pop up in the corner, new episodes ready. You want to get that?
XXX is watching X show.
Imagine Steam sales for box sets of TV shows and stuff. Good times.
And the other thing is though, like right now with software, the weird thing is that it still tells you someone so and so is playing. You know, so and so is playing Display Fusion. Like, what? Why couldn't you code this differently? Why could you say using or whatever? So be playing. Then again, with movies, I guess it's appropriate because you are sort of playing them. I guess.
Ern is playing Scandal.
Yeah. I don't know.
You've watched every episode of Scandal within 24 hours. Achievement unlocked.
Oh, you're onto
God,
something.
Are you going to mention that one thing?
You are onto something, Brad. Let me tell ya.
Because the worst thing just fucking happened. I don't know if you're going to talk about this or not. A couple weeks ago, continue Microsoft bashing. A couple weeks ago, and I really don't care enough to look into it, but I'm pretty sure that they had either someone in-house or somebody subcontracted to make a Reddit app for Xbox One. Now,
What?
that by itself is not the worst thing ever. What the worst fucking thing ever is that they have achievements for the Reddit app on the Xbox One.
Yikes.
Wah, wah.
It's like, be an asshole and downvote,
And
87
yeah, be an
things.
asshole,
Achievement
and we're gonna
unlocked.
reward you.
Yeah, so fuck you, Microsoft.
We have reports that the video might have froze up on the feed
Weird.
end.
Well, if you're frozen, then nobody cares, right?
I don't know.
Let it
Feed looks
go.
looking at me, so
Let it go.
I don't know. Whoever is watching
Let it
is
go.
frozen. Fix your stick.
Uh, did you guys get that? That was terrible.
I'm just ignoring
Did you
it. Actually.
did you sing "Let It Go"?
I got it, and I was trying to.
I
just
thought I
let
heard "Let It
slide.
Go."
Because you said frozen, it just the whole thing was the worst
Yeah.
thing I've ever done in my life.
I know, but before you, never mind. I beat you
That's
to it. You just didn't hear me.
forget about it.
Just moving on. Moving on.
Forget about it.
So what's this Steam stuff, Brad?
So yeah, Invisible Ink and I guess a whole bunch of other games in the last like week or two have gone early access. Steam early access seems to be like the thing that
The thing
everyone's
to do
doing.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone has early access. And I've actually been playing Invisible Ink since the early alpha, and it's been changed quite a lot, including having a different name originally. But it's really actually quite fun. It's basically like a squad-based. It's XCOM for spies, basically. Is
Okay.
the description. It's like XCOM and Syndicate and corporate espionage.
It kind of looks like it, yeah, with that isometric.
Yeah, and it's just really, really fun little. Yeah, I don't know. It's just very stealth focused, kind of XCOM-y thing. It's fun, and I highly suggest checking it
So what
out
you're
if you like
saying,
corporate
it's
espionage.
like Gunpoint except isometric and like XCOM.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, sort of, yeah, basically. And it's good times, and it's early access now, so anyone can just grab it for like $15 or whatever it is. It's pretty cheap, and it's good.
Go grab it.
And they're
I'm
still like
still
adding content constantly, so like every time I play, there's a bunch of new stuff, which is kind of fun if you're into
That's the
that.
most interesting thing about early access for me is to actually be a part of that development cycle, but not really. Um, I gotta find something that I am actually interested enough to do that.
Right.
Yeah, I put like 700 hours into Rust, and it
Sure, you did.
hasn't changed much.
Brad, since you don't have this
Disappointing.
in your notes, but we're sort of on the subject of indie games and Steam, are you going to purchase Hatoful Boyfriend?
Oh, repeat that, please.
A who to
Hato,
what?
Hatoful Boyfriend. Are you going to purchase it?
804.
Probably not.
Hato, the
I
Hatoful.
don't know what you're talking about, so probably not.
It's a
I don't
it's
even know
a
what he's saying. I
it's a
still have no idea what he's saying.
it's a pigeon dating simulator.
Oh, never mind
What?
then. Yes, I need that in my
Yeah,
life.
he's gonna buy that.
Whatever that is, I need to look that up right. Who are you talking
Put it in
about?
the.
Just plug that into Steam, what I just put into chat, and you will instantly fall in love.
Oh, Jesus.
It's the most ridiculous thing in
Hateful
the world.
boyfriend. I might have to look that up too.
Boyfriend. Yep. It's really ridiculous. They use real pictures of pigeons as their graphics, and it's intertwined with like these anime graphics.
Oh, jeez.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
$10.
I may have changed my mind. I might actually need this because that looks hilariously weird and
That's definitely something you need to stream.
And there are
I don't
and there
understand. But I will have it, and
pigeon
yes, I will stream
achievements.
it.
And it's a 72 on Metacritic.
Save that for
Can't be
later.
that bad.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing
still-
with my Friday night.
I'm still waiting for that. I don't know if you guys remember, I am kind of stalking that greenlit game called Homesick, and it was supposed to release in like September of 2013, and we still don't have it. It was kickstarted and backed and everything, and they still haven't pushed it out. I don't know what's going on with it. There hasn't been even like a forum update on it since May, I think. So I don't know if they're just going to issue refunds at this point. What's going on? Because it's not. There's no progress on it at all whatsoever.
You
No, it got
purchased
funded.
it got funded. Okay,
It got funded. Yeah, it was kickstarted and it got funded and greenlit and all that jazz. So I don't know what's going on with it, but I might have to give up on that one.
So basically, you're saying that it's become Final Fantasy 15.
15. Oh, I see what you're doing. Go.
Oh my
No?
God. What? No,
I
that
thought you
was
had news on that.
not a segue. I mean, I can talk about it a little bit.
Is it a hoax?
Sakaguchi, listen, Sakaguchi, basically father of Final Fantasy, the person that made the first one, or at least had the idea for the first one, just had a quick interview with someone. I think it was Kotaku, and he basically said that they're taking too long. because he was asked, what is wrong with Final Fantasy or something along the lines of that, and he said flat out said that they're taking too long. So if the father of Final Fantasy thinks you're taking too long, you should probably speed it up.
Speed it up.
They're at this point looking at probably about 2016 release, which will mean that the game has been in development for 10 years.
Duke Nukem Forever.
Exactly. Yeah, it's vaporware. Is that the no? Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, if it eventually comes out, then technically
Well,
not.
then right. It will change status, I guess. But yes, right now it's technically vaporware.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. That was it. But coming out of Japan, new 3DS. Uh, so that part is not that terrible. It will have a second analog sort of kind of like nub sort of thing.
Doohickey.
Yeah, and better hardware and everything. But problem is that because Nintendo is amazing at distinguishing their brands from one from the other, they're still calling it the 3DS, except it's the new 3DS.
Oh,
So
perfect.
the word new isn't used at any point, to describe any sort of other way that your product is being marketed. So now there's going to be that confusion where people are going to be like, well, 3DS, oh, that's just the newer one, right? It works just fine with everything else. And there's actually going to be games that are not backwards compatible.
Lovely. That's not confusing in
So
the least.
another Wii U situation coming up. So it's kind of dumb because 3DS is actually a really decent system, really decent handheld. So to again poorly market yet another console by Nintendo is just really terrible. So yeah, I'm sorry. This is very negative today. And again, when is it
So
not negative?
cheer up,
True.
man.
Well, you have some nice news for us, right?
Sure, if you count Oculus teaming up with Samsung to let you strap a Galaxy Note 4 to your face, then
So
yes, good
Hold on a
news.
second. Hold on a second. Let's do a visual, okay? Because I have my Note 3 in front of me, and they're about the same.
Yep. So it'll be like that, only with some more headgear.
With more space on your head, with more things on
Yes.
top of your
Yeah,
nose.
it's basically like a shell that has like its own lenses and actually does its own positional tracking.
I mean, it's essentially
of
the same
stuff.
thing that Google Cardboard looked like, except it's plastic and it's
Sort of. Yeah, with a little more tech than cardboard.
Right.
But yeah, basically same sort of
same
idea.
idea. You slot a device in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean it sounds interesting anyway. And I mean the Note 4 is a fairly powerful like as far as graphics processing and that kind of stuff. So it could definitely be a fun little wireless way to have VR.
Don't you
It's
think
sort
it
of
worries
weird that
me?
the Oculus Rift guys are coming out with like a paired product before their actual original product
Right, it's technically
comes out.
competition
But yeah,
to the Rift. But what worries me about that is because they are doing Note 4, it's a QHD screen. So how better really is that hardware to push that many more pixels? And is it really going to be that much of an improvement over what you already have with 3? But that's
that I don't know. I guess the
we'll see.
Oculus guys got like really like down to the metal access to the device.
That is true. Yeah, I did read.
So there's probably some crazy optimizations that they're able to do, like specifically for that device, which would be a little bit more flexible. But
No, I did definitely.
I mean, it looks interesting,
think
but I mean, not very many people have played with it yet, so
Yeah.
who knows.
No, I mean,
But
yeah,
yeah,
it'll be.
a little wireless thing, and if you happen to have a Note 4 anyway, then it'll be a really cheap entryway into having a
Yeah.
wireless VR headset. So why not?
Yeah. I wonder if they are planning on doing it for older devices or not, but most likely not.
Probably not.
I would doubt it just because of the latency issues and stuff like that. Like they really have to be very specific
That's true.
about how they're
Not to
managing the
mention,
hardware.
yeah, I mean, the fragmentation on Android is just the worst. So,
Yeah.
so I will agree with you there. So not to be negative, and I really thought like
Stop being
hard.
negative.
You
I
do too
fought
mean to be
long
negative.
and hard to even open my mouth about this, but you know what? So you guys might have heard that the lady, female person, Nita Sarkeesian, the one
Ugh.
that runs. All right, well, hold on a second. So to get back to the issue for like 2 seconds, because I really kind of wanted to almost vent to the internet about it, even if nobody ever sees this.
Well, to clarify what you're talking about,
Yeah.
he's talking about the tropes versus
Yes.
women
No,
chick.
and I'm getting to that point.
Okay, all right, go
So
ahead.
yeah, she does the tropes versus women video series. Um, there were like some pretty fucked up things that happened with I think the most recent episode where she literally received death threats at her home, which
Mm-hmm.
caused her to move out temporarily to friend or sister or something like that. And that sucks. That's fucked up. Like
That
you
is
can
fucked up.
Yeah.
joke on Twitter all you fucking want, but like when it gets that serious and people are making jokes like I'm going to fucking kill you and then fuck your dead body, like you kind of you crossing that line a little bit too far, bro.
A
But
little
the
bit.
problem that I have with the whole thing, and we're like a few episodes into it now. I think this is the fourth or the fifth one maybe that she's done. The
Yeah.
problem is that just like you're asked to provide a solution or your work to solving a math problem in school, that's what she should be doing with her video series and not just kind of coming up with a conclusion out of nowhere and saying, well, this is bad and that's what we should do. Um, Still, so many episodes in, like there's not really good steps towards the goal. She's still so one-sided about it, and then she like goes on Twitter and talks about how people are harassing her. But if you're going to have a one-sided argument with the internet over something that, yes, we are all hoping will get fixed and over time will equalize or whatnot, you probably
Balance.
should approach it a little bit differently. Um, Talking to somebody else about it, some of the things that she mentions in the videos, oftentimes what I dislike is, for example, if we go back, I don't know, 100 or 200 years, right? Or in the Wild West, what was it? I don't even remember the age now. Was it the 1800s? Um, Women were pretty abused, right? I mean, they were treated as whores. There were brothels and everything, and it sucks. I mean, we went away from that so much, but at the same time, if you're trying to accurately represent an era or a certain idea or certain thing that happened, you can't be biased and say, well, we're not going to do that because it objectifies women or whatnot. Like, if you're trying to be accurate, you're going to try to be accurate. And a lot of times, what she'll do is she'll quote something like that and say, well, that is the developer's fault and this and that. And she completely avoids the issue that maybe they're trying to represent something. And it's just this whole, again, kind of one-sided argument to try to further your own agenda. And it's again, it sucks because I think the feeling or the heart of it all is in the right place. And it's good that people are getting behind it, but it would be nice to approach it a little bit differently, especially when you're getting money out of it. So that's all. I think you could do better, lady.
Lady. I'm sure she'd appreciate being called lady.
Oh, absolutely. Well, then again, I don't know, because see you next Tuesdays fly all over her Twitter feed, so I think that's better than that.
Just remember, feedback at gamesammich.com. That's all I'm saying.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Speaking of fun things, though, now on the positive note, yay! Positive note.
Yay!
Yay!
So this lady, myself, our significant others, and one of our friends went to the Distant Worlds concert in Chicago.
For those that don't know what that is, that's the Final Fantasy series, like the
Symphony.
entire series, like soundtrack, kind of symphony style.
They play Muzak from the Final Fantasies.
It was pretty,
Awesome.
yeah, speechless. I was left speechless, and I'm not gonna lie, I cried like a little bitch. Part of that concert, I was crying like a little bitch. But it was just, I mean, if you've ever been a fan of the series, or even been around some of the pieces of music, It
I mean, even
gives you the
as music
feels.
itself, like it's
Yeah. Like I
cool
didn't play some of the
to
earlier
hear.
on stuff,
Right.
like at all. I played some of the later stuff, mostly the MMO versions of things. But the music, like I have probably at least a dozen songs from that series on a playlist of mine for games that I've never played, but I am in love with the music. So even if you've never played the games or you're not a fan of the series or whatever, just go take a gander at the. It's literally called Distant Worlds, are the album names. They have 1 and 2 so far. They announced, right? They announced that there's a 3 coming out
I think
over
they
the
said,
next year.
yeah, yeah. If I remember, I don't
Um,
know. I was too excited to remember anything.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I didn't really hear any of the words they were talking about. It was really awesome. It was really, we got all dressed up. It was really fancy. It was like an adult symphony, except we get there and there's like sweaty body odor nerds walking around in like jean shorts and t-shirts, and I was like, come on, show some
Barely a
class.
monocle in sight.
I mean, and we
So
weren't like totally overkill overdressed. We were formal wear,
we
like
didn't wear
suits
ball
and
gowns or
dresses and stuff.
anything.
Yeah. But it was the most exciting thing, I think. But then again, reading after the concert, I think he goes to every one of them. But Nobu was there, who's the original composer for one
Composer.
through 10, I think. I think after 10 he dipped out.
He
But
did. I think he did do the one for 14, didn't he?
I don't believe
The one with
so.
Susan? Because I think he was the one that asked her to be there. Maybe it was Arnie. I don't remember.
We're going to summon the power of the internet.
Let's ask Agent Google. But anywho, that was really awesome. If you guys, even if you've never experienced or played or been in the Final Fantasy circle of business, if they ever come to your area, I highly suggest you try to go if you can, because it's one
Absolutely.
of those once in a lifetime things that you just need to do because it's just awesome. And there were people that showed up cosplaying. There was a Chocobo and a Moogle standing in line at the bar. It was great. So
Nice.
It's
um,
pretty cool.
yeah,
Uh,
it was really cool.
you were actually correct. So he did 10, 11 also with a couple of other people. 10 or 11 had.
Yeah, 11 had like a collab more.
Yeah. He did a song each for Tactics and 12, and then yes, he is credited fully for 14.
Okay, all right.
So and
Cool.
that's it. Um, so yeah, it was cool. I mean, even with the non-Nobu stuff, 13 and sequels, like 10.2 and 13.2, 13.3. Um, he even listening that hearing that music like live was awesome. Even though it wasn't him, it was just cool. You play those games and then pow, just you get to hear it live with some video in the background. It was awesome. Yeah,
Fun.
yeah. Um, so the only other news, Amazon bought Twitch for a shit ton of money, $970 million, and they did it because Reggie says streaming gameplay is not fun. Yeah, how's that feel, Reggie? Wii U 2 yet? Yeah,
Right in the kissa.
didn't think so.
I mean, I'm
Yes.
a little disappointed that Twitch sold out like that because I
Well,
think they were doing fine.
yeah, but who would you rather at this point have, though, if they're gonna sell out, right? Because there was
Yeah,
Google and Amazon.
I
Google
would rather
couldn't
have
do it
Google.
because, see, the thing is, though, that you read about this. Google couldn't do this because of, I think, um, competition laws. Because
Oh,
YouTube, I think would, I don't, yeah.
oh yeah, maybe a Monopoly type deal.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, I mean, I don't
makes
know.
sense.
It's interesting. Amazon has been trying to get into the whole shindig more and more. The Fire TV when that came out, that's was kind of they had a pretty strong game push for that. I mean, the phone itself, I don't think it's doing too hot, but I mean, I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
they're trying to get into a lot more sort of
Yeah,
streaming stuff and original content
yeah,
stuff. Like it's definitely a direction that they're trying to put effort into. So it's not like a secondary, They probably will put in a fair amount of work and effort and money into making it good, but
Yeah.
it's Amazon. It's hard to say.
And you never
Yeah.
know. It could end up that, the Amazon apps that we already have on the phones, etc., like Twitch is going to get integrated into that, so that's going to be one less application to deal with.
Right.
So I mean, it could be really good. So I don't know.
Well, with that said, Google probably would have incorporated some sort of super real identity in order for you to use it.
As long as I can stream this ridiculous pigeon boyfriend game
Yes.
later, I don't care who owns Twitch.
Fantastic.
Sign me up for that.
You know what we should do?
Twitch Prime.
Next month, of course, no, next month, without telling Kevin, because he's never going to listen to this, we should make you stream that live and not tell him. And just have you stream gameplay to the podcast.
And not tell them what it is.
And don't tell him what it is. Just,
I like it.
yeah.
Could hook that up.
See the shock on his face when he falls in love with some pigeons. And admits to it on the internet. So what have you been all playing?
What have you been playing, Brad?
Well, I've been playing Metro 2033 Redux
How is
since
that?
both of the Metro games came out in like a new, updated, fancy-ass version. And it's pretty
Fancy
good.
ass.
Hold on, both?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was only the first one.
Nope, both. With like super updated graphics and extra physics and different like added content and just all kinds of stuff.
You do, of course, get the joke in that, right? Like Metro, as in one of the higher graphics games, has updated graphics. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. I guess that the original like version of Last Light
Mm-hmm.
was still fairly dumbed down for like the console stuff and never got major updates on the PC version, and this is sort of just the extreme version of that. But yeah, it's pretty good. I haven't gotten into the Last Light one yet, but 2033 is actually really fun. Those are good games. So when you update the graphics and everything, it's pretty shiny.
Has anything else changed, like controls or anything like that? Because I remember that I think I had some issues with the controls.
There's a little bit of gameplay difference. I don't think so with Last Light, but with 2033 they did add some of the updates that they made in Last Light to 2033.
Okay.
Like some of the stealth is a little different and things like that. Sort of trying to learn from what they learned building Last Light, I guess, and sort of retroactively fitting it into 2033. I didn't play 2033 the first time, so I don't know exactly what's different, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I didn't put a lot of hours into it. I mean, I have it. It came with, I think, one of the, humble bundles or whatnot.
Right.
Never really devoted time to it.
The other thing I've been playing is Invisible Ink. Now that they went they did their newest beta update along with the Steam Early Access, so I've been playing again to see all the new updates and everything. That's pretty fun if you like sort of spy, corporate espionage stuff, or if you liked Gunpoint, but you thought not quite 3D enough, then
This is Bradley. This is just rehashing what we said earlier. This is really bad radio.
It is. And what else did I play? Oh, I finished the last episode of season 2 of Walking Dead.
I still have to do that. I'm so behind.
Well, I won't spoil it, but
Yes, please
there's
don't.
a lot of depressing things that happen because it's
Fuck, that little girl dies, doesn't it?
Not like the first one was jolly happy.
totally jolly, happy, fun times.
That little girl
No,
better
it's
not
good,
die.
it's good.
I'm going to flip a table if that little girl dies. Don't tell me anything, but
Don't spoil it, but if she dies, she's gonna kick a dog.
no, I won't kick a dog.
I enjoyed it. It was horrible in all the right ways. Let's put it that way. And the last thing I've been playing is Pirates on Android. I just downloaded it like probably half hour before we started recording just so that I could try it out, and it's really fun. And
Pirates
so
as in...
Pirates as in it's basically Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but just
okay.
the
Assassin's
ship
Creed
stuff,
Pirates,
but like a lot of custom sort of, it's a modified version of just the ship combat.
that just went free to
That-
play, I think they announced.
Yeah, it just went free. So yes, that. It's so
I don't know if you
good.
guys can see it. Touch, blah, 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 blah. Okay.
That's pretty
It's
good.
so good. Get it now. Play it.
So good.
It's,
So
if you liked the ship stuff in Assassin's Creed Black Flag, then you will like this because it's
What if I never
basically
played
that.
Assassin's Creed because I don't own a console?
You will still like it. You have a computer. What are you talking about?
It's on PC?
You're fired.
I
I don't
feel like an
even,
idiot.
I don't understand. It's on.
Wait, hold on a second.
Like, what do you?
Can we contact the attorney and see if it's sexist if we get rid of her? Because she's the
We
only
don't have an attorney. Fuck off.
I think it's okay. It's all right. No.
Yes, they are on PC. I just spoke about this like half an hour ago about how Kiev is a terrible porter, Aaron.
Yep. I don't listen to you though.
Well, that's the problem.
That's fair. That's understandable.
Yes, it's understandable.
I retract my anger. So
Sorry.
what have you been playing, Aaron?
I have been playing all kinds of stuff. Most of the same shit. I was playing a lot of Arcade as of late, as I already talked about. There's not a whole lot to talk about that, but they keep doing more bug fixes. One thing I did notice in this last beta was they fixed flying because you really couldn't steer a whole lot when you were on your glider, and that's a lot easier now. So that was one thing I noticed that they fixed, which was a pretty big deal. I won't ramble on too much about that. It's coming out on the 16th.
Did they patch it so things are less Korean?
Moving on. I got back into Final Fantasy XIV. I had kind of gone on a hiatus a little bit. Only logging into Raid and whatnot because real life was just chaotic and shit. And I just recently just went back and decided to own it. So I'm playing 14 again, pretty heavy duty. And they got a lot of content coming out. I've been dyeing my chocobo. I got it to pink and then to white and then to all kinds of different colors lately. But there's like color charts and stuff all over the internet.
So hold on a second. You went from pink to white?
Back to pink, back to white.
Oh, okay. I just, I would have been shocked if you said that you went from a color that you are obsessed about to a different color.
I'm trying to get a specific pink. There's like 4 different versions of pink. There's rose pink, there's colibri pink, there's lotus pink,
That sounds complicated.
and there's salmon pink, I think is the other one. But anyhow, I'm trying to reach lotus pink, and it's really hard to get.
Lotus.
Unless you're not trying to get it. Then you get it all the time, apparently, from Reddit and forums. So it would be the one that I want that I can't get.
I was going to say, do you guys have anyone in the FC? You're like, I'm really trying hard to get this color, and I've been trying for like 18 days. And they're like, oh, I just got it my first try.
Yeah, well, of course, there's people like that. I dabbled in the new Rust test client some more. They did some more patches to that to where like building is actually a little bit more involved. I think I might be lagging or something because you guys are all pixelated and choppy. Whatever, I'll keep talking.
It's just Comcast. It's okay.
Yeah, pretty much. We did play a shit ton of Mario Kart 8, which was hilarious.
Go back to Rust for a second. Didn't they redo that game or something along the lines of that?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I was playing the test version of it, which is the new version of the game that they've really, really, really slowly been adding features and content to.
Okay.
And it's basically when you go to play the game, when you launch it, it asks you, do you want to play the regular game or do you want to play the experimental version?
So they have both still?
Yeah, they still have both going.
Just completely flushed the old one and starting it.
I think they will at some point, but the new version isn't it's not there yet. So it does have a lot more features. It looks a lot better. I mean, the graphics are pretty nice for it being a $20 game. But they're just moving so slow with it. I don't know what's
developing, is it?
No, it's like a team of like 8 people, I think.
Oh,
I'm not entirely sure, but they're slowly getting there. The new version has a lot more features and it looks a lot better. And your log cabin actually looks like a log cabin. It doesn't look like you bought it at Home Depot.
People that have bought their log cabins at Home Depot are going to be very upset when they hear this.
This is my prefabbed shed from Home Depot. But and then we played a bunch of, like I said, we played a bunch of Mario Kart 8, which was pretty hilarious. And playing that around children and trying to censor yourself when you lose is quite a project. My child accidentally heard a few choice words, some of which I changed to PG words halfway through the word, so it was like a hybrid. But yeah, no, the game's hilarious and it's funny. My only problem with it is that we went so balls out with it when we first got it that like day 5 of playing it constantly, it was like, oh, this is just another racing game now. And it stopped being as funny and it stopped being challenging because we beat all the levels and got all the achievements and unlocked all the drivers and unlocked all the cars. And I'm sure if it comes with some like DLC in the future and stuff, it'll have some longevity, or maybe like drunk party style.
You guys didn't get the Mercedes DLC that turns all your cars into Mercedes cars?
Didn't that just come out like yesterday?
That was me being sarcastic though, because that's a terrible thing that just happened.
No, I think it's kind of funny, but for like 2 minutes it'll be funny, and then by the time I get done with that initial race, I'll be over it. But yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It's funny. It's a good game to play when you got a bunch of people at your house maybe, and you know it's a good party game.
It sold really well. I mean, it's not saving the console because attachment rate is still terrible.
Yeah.
Or actually, no, attachment per console was not bad, but because there's not a lot of consoles, even that attachment couldn't really boost their sales that much. But no, it's one of those games that is cool to have a Wii U for, if you can get it for a relatively good amount of money. So.
Mario Party 10, is that what number we're on? That's coming very soon. For that.
There's been like 17 of them on N64, so we're probably on 37.
Mario Party 112.
They're just gonna keep going. It's never gonna end.
It's gonna be like Final Fantasy 14. There'll be 15 and then a 6. Oh wait, maybe there won't be a 15. We'll see.
Because they're not like Square, and they actually make their games. So.
True.
Yep.
And then the last thing, I picked up The Sims yesterday. It just came out on like Wednesday, didn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah. Anywho, I've had it maybe 48 hours tops. I can't remember what day I actually picked it up. But I'm going to do a little bit of a screen share here for y'all because you have to see this. Is this going
to be your pregnant character?
No, she's not pregnant. I just started it. I haven't even met anybody in the game yet. Jeez Louise. So, all right, let me see if I can make this work. Tell me if this works.
This is experimental, folks. She's going to break the internet.
Hold on. You see that?
Nope. No, but you did something. Oh, yep, I see it.
Yeah, we see it.
Oh, my controls are like hidden behind the Google. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Yeah, that's.
All right, so that's me rocking out. I'm dancing in my living room. That one's not as funny, but
surprise, surprise.
This one's Bart eating his breakfast.
Nice.
I think it's pretty uncanny if you ask me.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I have to send it to Carrie.
I'm wearing a light blue shirt today.
You're actually wearing a maroon shirt. Thanks, but okay.
I thought I should have.
This is Brad.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
That looks like you. Just saying.
And last but not least, here's Kevin with his Howling Wolf t-shirt.
Nice.
Did you have to include him? He's not even here.
I probably should have excluded him this time.
Here in our hearts.
But anyhow, that's my project. We are all going to become BFFs in my Sims game, and then we're going to throw a effing party.
Sweet.
Are you going to have a game sandwich?
I gave Kevin the insane trait. It's literally, the icon for it is a straitjacket.
Nice.
So I'll be curious to see how that pans out. because he's literally insane in The Sims. So you're welcome, Kevin.
It's, not far removed. So, yeah.
Art imitates life. What can you do?
Exactly. So I've been hooked on, and I mean, loosely hooked, but playing that Family Guy kind of Simpsons tapped out style
Still,
game.
no, let me tell you guys. Let's rewind
Oh
here
my
for a
God.
second. Yeah, you hang your head in shame,
Oh boy.
fucker.
Hold on
So
a second. I can't screen share this, but
I'm I'm down there for like 4 days this last time around. Not even.
I got it. No.
Every day I wake up and I
Oh, there
find
it is.
him.
Oh, look at that. There's the
Stop it.
there's a Griffin house. Sorry. Go on.
Anyhow, he has a stupid stylus out from his phone and he is playing that game over and over and over and over. Completely, yeah, that. Completely ignoring the fact that he has company.
Tap. But I see you all the time. I talk to you all the time. You know, it's better virtual than it is live, or something like that.
It's time to stop feeding the sim version of Bart. That's
Yeah.
So it's yeah, it's just too far. Uh, can't turn around anymore. That's it. I've gone too far. No, but I don't play like a lot. It's in very quick bursts, like a couple of minutes here and there. Because it's all that it is. It's a sim type of Farmville bullshit kind of game.
right.
So, um, but then so okay. So I'm playing technically this, and I'm currently playing Final Fantasy VI. Now, when I say that I'm currently playing Final Fantasy VI, it's because I myself have never actually finished Final Fantasy VI. I've been called a blasphemous douche nozzle for it. So I've started it a couple times, maybe two or three times. So finally going after it. But the reason why I'm going after it finally is because a couple of weeks before we even went to the concert, I decided that I have to play and finish all the
All of
ones that
them.
I have not played and finished, which basically means 1 through 6. So I have finished 1 through 5 so far, and I'm on to 6. On top of that, I'm doing it in sequence, which is a terrible fucking idea, by the way, because you kind of skip around features and stuff, like 5 in comparison to 4, because 4 was re-released twice, is really terrible. It's actually my least favorite Final Fantasy game ever. Final Fantasy V, don't play it. But it's interesting. It's interesting to see where things began, like what things refer, in the future games, what is being referred to from the older games. For example, Aaron's gonna know this, but Final Fantasy V was birth for the Omega weapon in Final Fantasy XI. That's the sprite for Omega in Final Fantasy V is basically the design that they used to make Omega in Final Fantasy XI. So it's cool to see, connections like that kind of canonical stuff.
Right.
I played and finished some Kingdoms of Kurt Schilling, which is Kingdoms of Amalur. It was relatively fun. It felt kind of like a single player-ish WoW type of game. I didn't do everything, and it's an incredibly large game. There's a ton of side quests. So I didn't do OCD yet, but I for what it was worth, for what I paid for it, I think it was like $7, on one of the sales. It was actually a pretty decent RPG. It's kind of actiony, but it was pretty decent. Finished finally Saints Row 4 at some point, so that was
Awesome.
that
Still
was
need to
cool.
do that too. I haven't finished 4.
Yeah.
Finished
Uh,
3, but I didn't get around to 4 yet.
And I've put it off for a very long time. I didn't touch it for a while, and then just kind of on a hiatus from MMOs. I'm just scratching games off the list. And then I played, but I did not finish Wolfenstein, the new one.
The
Wolf,
what?
Wolfenstein,
Oh,
the new order.
uh,
Yeah.
that one I haven't tried yet. I
It's
probably
a
should
pretty
at
cool
some point.
shooter. Just
Yeah,
saying,
I've heard that it's
it's
actually
pretty
pretty
fun.
decent.
hmm So It's enjoyable, but because I started this Final Fantasy project basically after or during all this stuff, it's kind of taken over. I have 6 that I have to finish, and then I have to do 13.2 and then 13.3, and that will be all of the numbered games. Oh, because I'm sorry, that was the plan, to play all of the numbered games that I have not played and beaten. So it's something, let me tell you. They're
I
not
bet.
short. They're not short games,
No, they're not.
and the older ones are really painful.
Yeah, I tried to go back and play 7, and I
See, but 7 is still one of those where it's not that bad. Oh God, if you tried to play 5, you probably want to kill yourself. It's so bad.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like some of those I missed. Like I at where I was at in my life when they came out, I
Right.
didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? So trying to go back to some of those older ones now that look bad in comparison, just have a hard time chewing on them. You know what I mean? But
Well, and you kind of like me. Like I prefer 3D over 2D. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah,
Shoot me. I like to see things animated well. I like, cinematic type of cutscenes, etc.
yeah.
For example, Final Fantasy IV, even though it was released on DS, so the graphics are not that crazy. It was full 3D. It had voice acting. It was just tons of features on top of the original game, and to me, it was much more enjoyable than playing the 2D version. As a matter of fact, I think if I had to play the 2D version, the original, which is the Super Nintendo or the Famicom one, I probably would not have finished it. I probably would have told 5 to go fuck itself, and I might not have finished 6. So. Yeah, so there's something to say about that. Obviously, different strokes for different folks. One of my friends absolutely cherishes 6 in its current 2D format, and I, for myself, think that if they released 6 remade, I think they would make mad bank. But
Or release it to Android.
no, don't do that because they already did that, and I
I
think we
know.
talked about how terrible it was, or it is. We might have mentioned that. So
Why you gotta troll like that?
yeah.
uh, gotcha, bitch. Well, I think that's everything we've got. To conclude the evening, I have the drawing for the beanie to do, and I couldn't find my hat, so I'm just gonna toss them. Whoops, I'm
Whoa,
gonna
what are you
toss them
breaking?
up. They're just names on paper, like so I can shake it up.
Like
I'm
a
gonna let
political
it go.
picture? Like a
I'm gonna
political picture?
shake it up and let it go.
Like the professional, organized people that we are.
Yes. I seriously I looked everywhere for that stupid hat. I think my kid stole it. I have that epic pimp hat that I
See,
usually
this is
use.
what happens.
Kids.
You get her to start playing MMOs, and next thing you know, your hats are
She's
missing.
stealing my hats.
Got to pay for that
You'd
MMO
think I'd
hat
had her
somehow.
playing TF2 or something
Yeah.
instead.
Well, at least she didn't sell it for drugs. She sold it for an MMO.
Yeah.
Same thing.
A free MMO.
That's kind of true.
So I guess I'll just shake these up and see. Okay, I'm just gonna pick one.
You notice how the camera wasn't on panned down so that she could totally cheat? I don't appreciate that.
I already have it in my hand.
Do your thing. Do you think, baby girl?
That little bitch ass just left the chat a second ago too.
All right then.
Alcides, you rotten bastard. I hope you have fun at the bar tonight because you missed out on seeing yourself win a hat. Bitch ass bitch. So, thank you everybody for entering. We're gonna try to do more giveaways whenever we get the opportunity. I do have. I'm not gonna do that tonight. I want to get some more like headway on it, or what's the word I'm looking for? Notice, for lack of a better term. I have a 1+1 invite stashed
Oh, that's right.
for anybody that might want it. I don't know if you guys saw my post. I posted it to our community page the other day and immediately got a bunch of blue heads that decided that they were going to join the community just so they could post on it and say that they wanted my invite. So I'm not looking to give it to somebody that I don't give a shit about or know. So that was the whole point of posting it to the Sammich community first. It backfired, so I've just elected to not even give it away to any of those people because I can do whatever the fuck I want. But so if you're watching this and you're a regular and you are interested in a OnePlus, I have an invite, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just try to give it away after I get some more momentum on it.
Alrighty.
There
With
you
that
go.
said, I think that's it, guys.
Cool. Sounds
Is
good.
it over? Is it over?
It's over, man.
It's
So I
over.
guess, thanks for watching. Say feedback at gamesandwich.com if you want to rant about Bart
Being negative.
or anything else. And maybe Kevin will stop by next time.
Kevin was in the chat for a little while.
He was.
Mr. Boo Boo Ouchie Pants.
Yep.
He stubbed his toe.
And yeah, so thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Yeah.
Toodles!
Bye.